Blue Texas may finally be here. It is actually more in play now than ever before, and it is all because of this idiotic new Trump endorsement that is pissing off and genuinely scaring Senate Republicans. No joke, this might finally be the push that Democrats have needed to flip a Texas Senate seat from Republican to Democrat. So together today, we are going to take a look at this new insane Trump endorsement and just how royally screwed the GOP is in Texas. It all started here when Trump endorsed Ken Paxton today in the Republican U.S. Senate primary runoff against Senator John Cornyn out in Texas, which is a interesting pick to say the least. Ken Paxton has been impeached by the Republican-controlled Texas House in 2023 over bribery and abuse charges, allegedly, and just an insane pick across the board. Multiple Senate Republicans are furious with Trump right now. Just to take a look at this reporting from Manu Raju, where he actually spoke with some Republicans on Capitol Hill.
Shockwaves, anger, disappointment, and real concern among Republicans in this building. They had been lobbying President Trump for months to get behind John Cornyn, Ken Paxton, to be the next senator. A lot of Republicans are fearful that it will cost him a seat, a critical seat in keeping the majority, including Senator Thune, who just moments before Trump made this announcement was in the dark. I was talking to a bunch of Republicans today, too, Dana, many of them on down saying, look, we need to get behind John Cornyn. He's the best person who can help us keep the Senate.
Yeah, to say the least, Republicans are not too happy about this, and it's no surprise why, right? Ken Paxton is... he's like a Trump 2.0, so it does make sense why Trump would endorse him, but he was impeached by his own party for corruption. Trump's been there, paid $300,000 to settle his felony fraud charges. Felonies, oh, look at that, also a Trump thing. Multiple extramarital affairs, ding, 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 there's 3 for 3. Contested the 2020 election, 4 for 4. Was sued for firing whistleblowers, is under an investigation for mortgage fraud, and stole a $1,000 pen from another lawyer. Just what a stand-up guy this Ken Paxton is. It really makes you wonder, oh, yeah, no, this is totally why Trump would endorse him, right? It's so blatantly obvious, right? And the real reason is that Ken Paxton is just a diehard Trump supporter, right? Ken Paxton has responded to the endorsement saying he's incredibly honored. It's so amazing. I don't know why I'm doing a Trump voice there. He said, no one has ever fought more for the American people than Trump, blah, 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 sucking him off. Who cares, right? But the real reason that Trump did endorse Ken Paxton over John Cornyn is that apparently Ken Paxton was just better at supporting him. Trump wrote in his endorsement, which is insanely long, by the way, another Trump essay we have here. He says, John Cornyn is a good man and I worked well with him, but he was not supportive of me when times were tough, and despite having the most successful economy in the history of the country during my first term, and with blah, 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 he was not 100% a fan of mine. So John Cornyn didn't guzzle Trump's balls enough, so that's why Ken Paxton gets the endorsement. Now, not only has Ken Paxton responded to this, but so has James Talarico, saying, as I said on primary night, it doesn't matter who wins this runoff. We already know who are running against the billionaire mega donors and their corrupt political system. He then continues saying, for decades, John Cornyn and Ken Paxton have embodied a broken politics that enriches wealthy donors while costs skyrocket for the rest of us. Yeah, exactly. And James Talarico, he's probably pretty pumped about this endorsement, to say the least, because he is now expected to win, at least through this prediction market poll that says he is actually predicted to win the Texas primary for the first time, all because of this one Trump endorsement, which is insane. But Talarico has also, responded to this during interviews about he doesn't care who it is, Ken Paxton or John Cornyn. The message and the arguments are still the same. So let's take a look at that together.
I don't think it matters who comes out of this Republican runoff, because we already know who we're running against. We're running against the billionaire mega donors and their corrupt political system. Mm-hmm. John Cornyn and Ken Paxton are both symptoms. They're not the disease.
Yep.
They are puppets of the people who really control this political system and control this economic system, and that's the people at the very top. You've heard me say many times that the real fight in this country is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom.
I love that messaging. It is so strong, right? It's not left versus right. The people at the top have always had us, fighting this way and this way, instead of looking up and realizing that a lot of our problems can be attributed to those up there, right? That is such a good messaging. But not only has James Talarico responded to this endorsement, but people online have responded, and they are loving it, right? This user says, Trump is the gift that keeps on giving. He just handed Texas to the Democrats. Another user writes, this is big news for Democrats. That Senate seat is about to flip blue. Outstanding. Another writing, bribery, abuse of office, impeached by Republicans. Trump, perfect. You're my guy. And yeah, exactly. I mean, they're two peas in a pod, some would say. They're just a perfect match for one another. They should go on a lovely, cruise to Venice or something. I don't know. Another user writing, I'm pretty sure James Talarico endorses him too, who says bipartisanship is dead. Yeah, it's of course James Talarico would, if given the pick between John Cornyn and Ken Paxton, I do think that James Talarico would be picking Ken Paxton every single time because he is just a weaker opponent to go up against. And then there's further confirmation that Donald Trump did pick Paxton over Cornyn, all because of a grudge, because J.D. Vance had this to say about it. Take a look.
I've known John Cornyn for a long time, but unfortunately, you know, when it really counted, Ken Paxton was there for the country, was there for the president, and that's why he ultimately earned the president's endorsement. He thinks he's going to be a better senator, thinks he's going to make a better candidate. And so I do think it sends a message.
Sends a message that you have to, you know, suck up to Trump and gargle his balls to get an endorsement, and that if you have ever slighted him once in your entire life, you're an enemy to him, and he will do everything in his power to make sure that you never hold power ever again in your entire life. Is that the message you're trying to send, JD? Because that's the message that's being given. Because not only in this race, but also for Thomas Massey's race out in Kentucky that is happening today, right? If you, do not stand exactly in line, if you do not fall in line with whatever President Trump says, you are an enemy. You are no longer fit to be a United States senator or representative if you do not follow in line with Donald Trump. That is what they're saying here, right? Cornyn, obviously, I disagree with his worldview, but he disagreed with Trump on things, and he wasn't fully, supportive of him. So he got shafted, right? And Ken Paxton, who was always a ride or die for Trump, now gets all the love in the world, right? We've seen this time and time again. Trump will be nice to those who are nice to him, and then he will just be completely barbaric to those who aren't, right? But the reason that this is so big for Democrats is that James Talarico is a great candidate, and Republicans are genuinely scared of him. And he talks a little bit about that right here at this rally that he held, where he talks about that, yeah, Republicans are scared, and they should be. Let's take a look.
They're scared of the movement we are building. They're going to throw everything they have at us. They're going to call me a radical leftist. They're going to call me a fake Christian. They'll call our movement un-Texan, un-American. They'll call us a threat. The only truth is, we are a threat. We're a threat to their corrupt system.
I love it. I love it so much. It is so good because, yes, he is a threat because he has the messaging, he has the support, he has the grassroots, he has the funding. James Talarico is a funding machine. He has raised more than any other senator for this race, right? He is just doing great things. But it's also very funny that he talks about here, you're going to hear all these things. I'm a radical leftist. I hate Jesus, right? Kind of thing. And wouldn't you believe it? But Donald Trump, when speaking at James Talarico, had this to say about him. Let's take a look together. I know, trigger warning, Donald Trump.
I mean, this guy is bad news with his mask from relatively recently, and he's a vegan, all of a sudden he's not a...
He's a vegan. Oh no, he's a vegan. Oh, we can't have a vegan. He wasn't a vegan and now he's a vegan? What's a vegan? A vegan? Oh, Trump, what's a vegan, bro? What's a vegan? Just another sign that his brain is melting out of his head. But yeah, I guess James Talarico is a vegan and we can't have one of those in Senate. But just across the board, Republicans are fearful of James Talarico, right? This is Trump endorsement for Ken Paxton over John Cornyn is just, this may be the moment that we look back on in a few months' time and say, yep, this is where the GOP really screwed up. So Blue Texas, let's keep the fight alive, right? It is more possible now than ever before. But I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end. I really appreciate it. If you like what you see on this video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. And also, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this and more. So do all that good stuff and have a great day. I'm Iago Lashua. Goodbye.